me, Gamer Girl Chimene, aka Chibs, and I am back. Hello, 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 and welcome. I hope you're all doing well. Oh my goodness, it's been definitely a very long time since I have last streamed. I have been taking a bit of a break. I've been busy, you know, the whole adulting thing. Sometimes life just, throws you a whole bunch of things that you got to deal with. And so I've been busy working actively on that, and wanted to take a little bit of a break, to be brutally honest, as well. So I'm back. Why? Because, well, I miss you guys, most importantly, as well as I have a bunch of things that I've been working on in the background, I guess you could say, especially when it comes to Elder Scrolls Online. So let's hold on here. What has gone on with my controller? It has decided to take a nap. Oh no, you're hungry. You need some, oh, silly thing. Hold on, give me a sec here. This was charged. I guess it has been a while since I've last charged it. So let me just plug in the cable here and then we can get started. That's why you turned off. I wondered about that. I was like, oh, did you take a nap? What's going on? That's okay. We're all good. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and hello. I hope you're all doing well. It's really warm today. It got up to like 24 degrees here in Vancouver, BC, Canada, British Columbia. So I have my fan going. Hopefully it's not too loud. I don't think so, but if it is, just let me know and I will do my best. Hopefully it'll start to slowly cool down, whatnot. And okay, we want not that one. Jeez, Chibs, come on now. I'm so busy. I thought, oh, aren't I doing well? I'm doing everything I need to. We want to be on this screen. That's right. Why? Because we're showcasing Elder Scrolls. Yes. Well, let us start up the game, shall we? Well, I'm going to be showcasing this on PlayStation, my PS4 Pro. I don't have a PS5. I have Nintendo Switch. I have my PlayStation 4 Pro, as well as PC that I play and showcase a lot of my stuff on. I've been playing more stuff, believe it or not, on PC lately, but all my main stuff that I've been working on, especially with Elder Scrolls Online, was always on the PlayStation. So that account, North American account, I have 4 accounts, 2 for PC, NA, EU, as well as NA, EU on PlayStation, believe it or not. Busy. And I know a bunch of you probably who are huge fans are probably playing the new Oblivion remastered version. I do not have a copy of that, and honestly, you guys may disagree with this. Don't get me wrong, it's a wonderful game. But I don't know. I love Skyrim. I love ESO Online. But because the majority of my experience has been online version, I don't know what it is. They did such a great job with all the graphics, and I know they integrated a bunch of other things. For example, they did sprinting, and they said, I don't know about this, they said they re-recorded all the sound effects, but I know there's been a couple oopsies where people have caught and it was what was recorded from the original, so I don't know how well they actually listened through all of that. And what was it? Yes. Other than the Argonians looking pretty much the same, I just can't get over the other character facial designs. I know it's from the original when it first came out, and I know that they, adjusted some of the graphics in other elements. It's just too bad they couldn't do that also with the facial for all the other character and races as well. I really wished they had done that, because then I would totally be on board with that game. I don't have the original of it because that came out obviously a long time ago. for on PC. And someone was telling me if you have the original, you can actually just get the update for a lot cheaper. You don't have to rebuy the entire game, believe it or not. Otherwise, yeah, it's kind of expensive. So I don't know. Maybe in future I might, but not right now, I don't think. Right now I'm still focusing on Elder Scrolls Online for myself. But that's just me. But, you know, if you guys have any questions or you want to talk about what, you know, you like doing, what games you guys are playing, some of the games that I'm showcasing, if you have questions or anything like that, and you just want to bounce ideas, this is the challenge just to do that. It's all chill, it's all vibe, that's all what it's about. We're just here mainly to have fun, and if you can learn something and get something away from watching this channel, then that's a bonus, right? Let us start up the game, shall we? Da-da-da. Okie dokie. Now we want NA. Whitflow! Yay! How's it going? Oh my goodness. I hope you're doing well. I took a bit of a break. Hi! What are you playing these days? What have you been up to? Pretty much after Christmas, I just was like, I'm burnt out. I need a break. Just been so busy with things at home here. Da, 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 da. So I have a bunch of different characters that I could play. This is my main character that I first started off with. She's my main crafter. I think maybe she would be best to showcase this. But I'll just go through the others that I have as well. For instance, so the first character, yeah, her name is Ardina. She's a dark elf. She's a dragon knight. Second one is Narme. She's a wood elf. Warden. Third one, Yarlena. She's a high elf, a sorcerer. Let's see here. We have, yeah, Narina. Also a dragon knight. There's kind of a theme you're going to see here. But she's an orc. I really enjoy playing tank with her. We have Silverscale, who's an Argonian Templar. And then we have some other characters. Some are lower in level because I started them, but I've kind of put them on the shelf and I haven't really had a chance to go and level them up any further. So we have Nicodemus, Keljeet Nightblade, Night Sparrow. She's also a high elf and Dragon Knight. A little bit different build though. And then Raharme. Really enjoy the Necromancer class, Dark Elf. And then we have another orc, different tank though, but Necromancer. And then this one is basically it's kind of just a fun little guy. So if I want to go out and just pick up mats, I use him sometimes. Vesnir, Wood Elf, Necromancer. And then we have the last one who is a High Elf Arcanist. I'm still not quite so familiar with that character, like class myself. I haven't had too much to play with it. I started it and I don't know. I just love the Necromancer and I like the Dark Knight still. I should probably give this one a little bit more of a chance to learn, but you know, I wanted to set up the character. I just haven't been spending as much time as I should playing this class here. And yeah, Larisse. Okay. But I think we're going to go back to Zardina. And let's log in with her. Now. Oh, you know what? Oops, oops, oops. I'm going to put the B right back because I don't want you guys to see actually. What the... You guys have to close your eyes, okay? I made an oopsie. Well... You're going to see part of it anyways. I totally oopsed on that one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm kidding. But I didn't log in ahead of time. I totally forgot. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. So you're not going to see it from the very beginning. So you're going to have to close your eyes for a little bit. I fudged. You know what? Nah. No. So what we're going to do, we're going to, hold on. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go to this house. I'm going to load it in from the beginning. Because when I logged out, I was working on this actually the other night. And let's go outside the house here. I want you guys to see from the proper beginning. My bad. Oops. That's okay. So yeah, this is in the Telvanni Peninsula. So I'll show you on the map. But yeah, this house became available and I wanted to showcase because I was really working hard on it. As well as many other houses. So this is a very outside. And I'll just show you on the map quickly. Yeah, I fudged. Shh, don't judge. Silently judging. Okay. So it is right there on the map. There's the crosshairs. And to get a better idea further out on the map. There you go. So we're in the Telvanni Peninsula. Right there. Right there. And this is the huge map. And then even further, oh my goodness, there you go. And then these are all the different other areas you can go to. Deadlands, Fargrave, Clockwork City, Evea, Cold Harbor, Apocrypha, and Artium. But for our purposes, we're going to that lovely green arrowhead, I guess you could say. Let me zoom in again. That's where the house is located. Okay. The Arcanist Hideaway. So what have you been up to? I hope you're doing well. And don't be shy, anybody else who's either watching or lurking. If you have questions, by all means, please ask away. I enjoy answering people's questions as best as I can anyways. And if I don't know, at least I can try my best to like reference you to somewhere else. Okay, now this house is pretty cool. I remember at a certain time you could get this for free. So I was able to pick this up when I did. I've added some more flora, fauna, that kind of thing. Just to make it kind of more interesting, I think. So you'll notice you'll be like, wait a second, some of those mushrooms aren't the same as in here. And, well, there's a reason for that. So I'm going to go first person perspective for some of it. And then I might zoom out a little bit. So yeah, like I just added a bunch on the outside. Now this house in particular, it is a mid-range house. So, well, that's great. What does that mean, Chibs? Well, that means that you have up to 600 placement items in total, housing items that you can actually use to decorate either inside and or outside. And I'll just bring it up quickly. So there you go. It says how many out of 600. Now, I could maybe add a little bit more, but as I was progressing, I'm like, you know what? It's going to look a little bit cluttersome sometimes. But, you know, if I decide to, I have the space to do so if I wish. And then you have the different categories like special furnishings, and then you have collectible furnishings, you have special collectibles. So I'm maxed out on those. 40 out of 40 for the collectible furnishings. Special collectibles, 8 out of 8. Special furnishings, so those are special type, almost like effects, I guess, that you could say for that. It gets a bit confusing because a lot of people are like, well, isn't it the same thing? Not really. So that can be a bit, huh? Like people are like, That doesn't make sense. Okay, and not much really. I kind of left this, I just liked it by itself. But, you know, because in this area that you play, I thought, you know, try to keep a lot of the furnishings very similar. So you have Necrom furnishing, you have Telvanni. Not so much in the Apocrypha kind of stuff, but so I just wanted to do kind of like a little homage to this area, because as you go through the main city, there's a whole bunch of like urns and everything else. But what I really like about this, it's pretty cool. So there's two ways of getting in. There's the main door, and then there's the side door, which is really neat. I love these doors. They totally remind me of like, and actually there's one player I saw, can't remember the name of the streamer offhand right now, but they made an actual Hobbit house, believe it or not, with that particular door. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I was like, no way. It's such a smart idea. So if you're into housing and building and design, there you go. I love this like waterfall. I just think it's just a nice feature. It's a nice little house. I like the size of the house. It's pretty decent. Okay, Chibs, that's great. This is the outside. We came here to see the real cool stuff on the inside. Yeah, going well under circumstances. Had a wicked staff meeting and a March. Oh, we were told, yeah, the company is on the point of liquidation. No way. It came across as it would happen as soon as end of April. Oh my gosh. Luckily, they sent a mail yesterday. We're still working through May. So yeah, jump hunting is the name of the game. Yeah, don't worry. I'm in the same boat, my friend. I did have a job earlier in the fall, and then that fell through, kind of like yourself. And so yeah, I'm in the same position. So okay, before we get in, these are a couple like I was talking about. Like, look at these huge mushrooms and everything. So the inside of this house, as we go through, I try to do different themes, okay? So this one, yeah, okay, I could totally do it kind of like the same setup as you would see in the main game. That's fine, no problem. But I did something different. My theme that I went with this one, so hold on, oops, get out of here. Open, please, open, open, open. I went for something a little bit different. Now, you might like it, you might not. I hope you do. But I went with this because I thought, you know, this is really cool. And I'll tell you a little bit more as we go through. So I did a lot with, again, because there's so much stone, I wanted to focus on a little bit more with color, lighting, makes a huge difference. Now, granted, okay, yeah, some of these pieces, they're not exactly everything that is part of what I was talking about with all these. I had a furnishing pack and I was like, you know, these corners are kind of empty and I wanted some interest. So I sunk these in a little bit lower. I wanted them to have kind of a fountain idea. And I thought with all the overgrowth, with all the vines, the flora, flowers. So I used some of these. These are Leo-in, but kind of the style, if you kind of go and look at them though, long weekend first though. Yes. The style actually, if you remember, if you are able to make them and you have the mats to do so, as well as the patterns, the style is very similar to Hulalu, like the benches and whatnot. And again, this area, most of the characters that are here are based off of, well, Dark Elves, right? Yeah. And I was thinking, you know, even though it's a little bit different, it kind of goes. And sometimes, you know, you don't have all the patterns, so you try and mix and match as best as you can. And this as well, you're probably like, wait a second, this isn't part of this area. But you know what? It kind of works. I kind of liked the lighting, but I wanted to hide it a bit. And again, because of the greenery and everything, I just thought, let's go with that. That's kind of interesting. So I did that. And then we have like here, you know, some little nibbles on the table. Again, corner matching. And because this place is mainly for my dark elf, I thought, let's do it up with some of these tapestries. And what I really liked is as we go up the stairs, before we go further, I thought this was really cool, but challenging at the same time. Why? Because like, look at this. You can't really put like, well, I guess you could cram in some beds sort of, but it'd be very kind of claustrophobic and tight, I think, especially right in the corner, and you're very exposed. And I thought, you know what would be really, really cool if I could do that? Some of you, maybe a couple weekends ago, you probably saw, I thought, you know what would be cool? If this could be opened up, of course it can't, but if they made that glass or something, I wish this could be used as like an observatory. I think that would have been awesome because they had, it was Clockwork City pieces, and one of them was like a huge, massive telescope kind of thing, and I thought, oh man, that would look really, really cool. But unfortunately, because we're stuck with the design of the house being what it is and it's a solid roof, no. But I was thinking, oh man, wouldn't that be cool? So instead I thought, I have a lot of like different art pieces. Let's showcase it this way as like kind of like a collection of sorts. And so that's what I kind of came up with that. As you go around, there's a whole bunch of different ones. And then all the different busts, I thought the color looks really, really nice with kind of the old copper, the Necrom kind of style and the lighting. And it kind of complemented the two. I thought, let's do that for here. And as you can imagine, because this is a mid-range house, as I was mentioning, so that means, quickly, hence why my 40 out of 40, my collectible furnishings is maxed out, as you can imagine, because of all the different busts that are here, as well as downstairs, and all these different pictures, blah, 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 kind of thing. So that didn't really take too much to max out on, considering. And I thought, you know, this kind of looks interesting as like an art collection, collector's kind of observatory upstairs here. So that's what I did with this part of the house. Whereas downstairs, I thought, okay, I wanted to have a little bit of privacy so you wouldn't see all the way to the back of it. Hence why I put the different Necrom braziers as well as these Necrom style. I really like these, but they're huge. Again, floral pots. I had a bunch of these, and again, I thought I know it's from elsewhere, but I thought, wouldn't that look kind of interesting? Again, adds more color, height to it. The stoneware kind of blends in. To add a bit more lighting, we have these different Necrom sconce, as well as the Necrom lampposts here and there. And just kind of did that. And I thought, you know, it kind of looks plain Jane just by itself with just the plain water. And I had this also from a furnishing pack and everything. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that look cool? And just for visual interest's sake, I thought, you know, I'm going to do that. And it kind of goes with the whole water theme. It's a little bit different. Probably not what a lot of you would do. But I thought, wouldn't that be interesting? Because you see the little blue kind of light coming out from that. But it is liquid. And you use that to basically go from the different levels in the house and whatnot. And again, I use these. And I'll just show you what I was talking about. So again, remember the shape. So we're going to go here. I believe that is in, what would that be? No. Maybe Parlor? Try to remember. Let's see here. Not banners. And it's not instruments. It's not knickknacks. Not carpets. Okay, here we go. Right. Sofas and couches. Bear with me. This is where I'm kind of going with this. Jimmy! It's the weekend. Don't forget to check Cold Harbor Furnishing Vendor. I know. I've been bad about that a couple times, actually. It's one of those things you mean to do, but, you know. So this is what I was talking about. See, this is very similar. The Halalu style settee. So that's the shorter version that you can have. And then they have like, which is padded. This one's just hardwood and whatnot. And then I believe they also have, yeah, again, you have this one as well, which is the Redoran settee. And then the Redoran sanded version of it. And you can get, I believe, even, what was it? Not tapestries. No, it's not in here. But you can get like the couch, which is even longer. But because I had a previous furnishing pack, I thought, you know, for now, for the purpose of this, the shape is very similar. It looks nice. I like the coloring. Just use it for now. Anyways. Are you still playing ESO, Jimmy? Or are you guys... I guess that's another question. So a bunch of you who are interested in watching this, are a bunch of you playing the new Oblivion? Well, the remastered version, I guess you could say. I haven't gotten it. I have too much with this. Honestly. Actually, I'm going to turn this up because it's very, very quiet. I think I turned it down because originally... and it's hard to hear because I have a fan blowing at me. It's very freaking warm here. So you'll have to bear with me. If I'm like, eh? What's that? Pardon? Of course! Oh, NBG's at the moment. Okay. Alright. So this is the second part of the house. Totally different. No, you're probably like, whoa, what's going on? Again, I went with the whole kind of bubble thing. And to just keep it consistent, right? But as we go through the other part of this house, you will see I took certain elements, added more flora and fauna, did a couple other neat things down below past this level. My theme, I thought, with this, because I was thinking, what am I going to do with this house? It's really interesting. It has a whole bunch of the moss, or sorry, not moss, but the fungi and element to it, right? Whole bunch of mushrooms here, there, and everywhere. And I thought, who would really live in this, and how could I really enjoy and maximize the space, but not make it too cluttersome and annoying at the same time? Because you look at a lot of houses and you're like, that's really neat. I like this element. I like that element. But oh, it's just, there's too much and I can't really just enjoy it. There's a lot going on. And I thought for this theme house in particular, what I would do is when you go down below, you'll see a bit of a theme. I'll see if you guys can figure it out before I fully explain it. I love Gors. When I first started this game, back in 2017, that was the first mount that I absolutely wanted, was a Gor. Everybody thought, really? Seriously, Chibs? Gor? I'm like, yes, they're like docile Jersey cows in this game. To me, that's what it reminded me of. And I thought they were the cutest little things ever. And people were saying, it's not something you hear every day, but okay. So this is what I did. I thought it would be really interesting because as you can see in the ceiling, it's all this overgrown mushroom component to it. added some lighting, did some ground cover with the ivy, picked a whole bunch of different plants, mushrooms, different varieties. And what I was thinking with this is, wouldn't this be cool if, say, you own this house, yeah? And you were a bit of a botanist, but at the same time, you're a chemist. You might have like people coming to you and you sell your different wares in this type of field. So I thought, wouldn't it be really, really cool? You got all this height, add some beautiful color and interest with different varieties of plants and whatnot. And because we don't want these little guars to be chomping away on this, I thought, well, we gotta fence this off so they don't, you know, start munching away on this. And again, unfortunately, it's all stone, but to make it more interesting, I again covered it with ivy to make it look kind of overgrown, that kind of thing, you know, give it some interest and again, more color, interesting dynamics to it and whatnot. All right. We're going to start off to the left. And then we're going to work our way down. I hope you guys like it. And it's really, really dark. And I know a lot of people are like, Jebs, how the heck do you do lighting in this? You use a lot of lighting, I'm not going to lie. Unless you have really bright sources that you can use. Again, some pieces. I just thought, okay, add some interest, homage. Some pieces I have collected on my own, or I was able to make because I had, like, obviously the mats and the recipes and or patterns to do some of this stuff. Some of it also depends on if you have some good friends who are nice. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, know what I mean? To some of my friends, thank you, who might have had the chance, as Jimmy said, to, you know, go to Cold Harbor and check out the furnishing vendor. And sometimes I would forget to do that. And they were like, oh, okay, I'll pick that up for you, no worries. And they were kind enough to get me some things. And you just trade. Or if you join even a really good guild, for example. I'm on a bunch of, actually, what is it? Home and Gardens is a huge one. The version for, again, Elder Scrolls Online. And, oh, they're a huge, huge guild. And I am on a couple smaller ones as well. But it's really neat because you get to see some really cool ideas. Like, I thought this was really, really cool. I enjoyed this. And I thought, oh, I know what I'm doing with this. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have in here whole specimens, you know, guy who's into tinkering, maybe kind of a scientist, a chemist of sorts. So that's what I did. I thought, wouldn't this be kind of cool? Because there's built-in shelves. And I thought, let's do this. So I have a bunch of different pieces I collected, and this is kind of my Igor lab assistant, I suppose you could say. And I did it like that. I wanted to add some interest. I thought this was kind of cool. Obviously it lights up, and with it, let's put some crystals together as well. You never know, you might be buying a whole bunch of different things from this guy. And I have these little side minions, I call them, I guess. Just here, there, tinkering around. This was interesting. I had fun putting this together. I like the case. And then I was able to get this character. Had some interest with some, again, height with the plants. And the specimens that I'm sure a bunch of you already have. Maybe, maybe not, but they're really neat. Again, it doesn't come with all these vines. I had to put all this stuff in here, placement, that kind of thing. In this table here, I thought, wouldn't it be kind of cool he has different specimens, but with like all these different species, right? So of course he's going to be excuse me, these different skeletons and everything. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be cool? So he has Gore, Titan kind of character, and it's like this big alligator, even a human skull for crying out loud, and then some. Those are from the vampire kind of like pieces. But I thought that kind of goes, and I thought let's do it this way for different specimens that he likes to collect. And then there's this area over here, but before we ventured there, there is an actual room which is right here. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool? So again, I have the different mushroom theme kind of going throughout, just carried down. And we have the Telvanni. I love these lights, they're beautiful. But the only thing that really ticked me off, I'm not gonna lie, trying to find a door that fits this, unless you guys can suggest one. They have a whole bunch of different ones, like this style, but for this particular house, no. Couldn't find it anywhere for the life of me. And since that was the case, I thought, you know, I want to give it a little bit of privacy. I don't want to like wide open. I compensated. I thought, let's layer it. And I came up with that idea. It's with the curtains, and then again, the overgrown ivy, because it's all up above. Makes sense that it's draping over, right? And that's what I came up with. And again, I know these curtains are not from this area, but I like the colors, and I thought, you know, it kind of goes with the greens and the old kind of aged gold look, I guess you could say. Let's go take a little bit of a look inside, shall we? Now, again, because it's all full of fungus and overgrowth, it makes sense because it's all dark in this area. Let's have some more. Again, it's a bit crazy, but it makes sense how the ivy would be kind of overtaking this place, and I thought it adds an element of interest and color. Don't get me wrong, the stone's very nice, but it can be a bit much if it's just stone. And again, I went with this style chandelier to go with the also mushroom style lamps as well, or sconces, I guess. And again, because this area is like dark elf, I did a bit of homage to that. And I did some stuff that was a little bit different. So you're going to see that there. And then again, continuation with, you know, the banners and stuff like that. The carpets. So this is one main huge carpet that you can get, right? So that's the Necron carpet. And that's a lot of mapping for my little guy. And not only is this the Necron carpet, but so I'm going to use this is my pointer stick. All right, so that is another carpet as well. All right, but I thought that actually looks really cool, and I thought, you know, I love the design. I like the colors. That would look really interesting as a backdrop, and then I put this over top, and I just think, wow, that looks really, really, really nice. The combination, and then have that. Not exactly as a headboard, but just kind of like a, how would you call that? Like a, almost like a feature wall, I suppose you could call it. And then again, we have the matching furniture. We have the bed, side tables. We have the couch. Some num-nums on there. Some nibbles. However you want to word it. And I got this music box. I try and put a music box in almost all my houses if I can. I don't have all of them, but I have quite a few. And I like the melody for this one. I thought it kind of went with this style house. Got some butterflies that are quite interested in the lighting of these mushrooms, apparently. And you're wondering, why is this guy running around? Well, in this particular area of the game, you come across a bunch of those little guys, and I thought, he's really cute. I always like the Welwas. They're another one of my favorites. They kind of remind me of a Tasmanian devil for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. I think they're just very sweet. And then, again, I love these. These are so beautiful. The Telvanni candelabra. They're simplistic, but I like them. And then, again, a little bit of the mix of Telvanni and then Necrum. And then the teapot. And again, just some simple soup, something to nibble on. And again, it's very hard because obviously you want it to look really good. I love making kitchens and the layout and just designing them and having fun. Granted, I know this is Breton, that's fine. But the wood kind of goes. And I just love this display. And I thought, you know, let's have some cheese, some bread. Again, it's what you have. So we have a bunch of different, you know, meat, fish, garlic, beets, onions, apples, tomatoes. This I actually sunk in because look at how tall she is. Dark elf. If it's too tall, it just looks silly. It's not in proportion and scale. Now, obviously, you're going to have your herbs up a little bit higher, so you probably get a little step bench to access that kind of thing. But I like the interest, and I thought, oh, let's add some grapes in there as well. And then we have, again, some green beans, different meats. Have something cooking as we go. And again, just for interest, color, that kind of thing. I know these are, yeah, Khajiit. But that's fine. Not everything's going to be absolutely perfect. Because if you did do everything and only strictly to that, then you're very limited. Because unfortunately, they don't do that for each and every one. A lot of them, yes, I do, Jimmy. And a lot of them, if I wasn't able to get some of them, then I would actually, with my in-game gold or trading or asking nicely. Some of my other friends had that, so they helped me out a little bit. And they gave me copies of like extra recipes or patterns that they had, kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And I just like myself, it's not for everyone. It's very difficult. It can be very tricky to open concept. A lot of people like, you either love it or you hate it. You either can go with it or you don't. And I know a lot of people, they're like, no way I would do that. I can't envision how I would do that. So there's her little seat kind of thing. And I thought, oh, okay. And again, this is a combination of things, actually. So this is Khajiit, the fire pit, yeah. But then this is actually one solid big stone. And I didn't want this right on the floor. So I thought, let's do this and raise it. And then I grouped it together. And did that. And again, I'm trying to do it so it's a little bit easy for someone of a dark elf's height, obviously, to reach and or grab things kind of in scale. So it makes sense. If she's a high elf, that would be no problem, but yeah. Because if you put it way too high up there, that's not going to happen. Gonna need a huge stepladder to access all this stuff. And again, it needed a bit more lighting to kind of highlight, I thought, some of the ivy and some of the tapestries and everything. And again, I had a bunch of these, so I made those. And again, so added those. I like using natural candles. I find the candlelight looks really nice, and I like how it flickers, the effect that it has as well. And I thought it really kind of highlighted the wood, mushrooms, the knots in the wood, the texture as a whole. So yeah, this is what I came up with for the bedroom. Now you don't have to make it into this. You can make it whatever you wish, but I thought, you know, my character's living here. I want a nice bedroom. I didn't want to have like a kitchen out there. I thought, you know, this person's gonna have it all set up here. They're the main person living here. So that's why I did it this way. If you like it and you think that's a neat idea, you can use that as an idea if you wish. And that's fine, no worries. But I just shared this for you guys in case you're kind of like, well, how am I supposed to decorate this? Like, don't get me wrong, it's a cool house, but how do I do this? This is kind of the concept that I came up with, and I thought it sort of worked. And I like the colors too. Now, some of you might even probably thought, you know, I'm going to do the Apocrypha stuff and do that. I'm going to do more that style instead. And that's fine too. You can do that if you wish. I just went with this because you have all the natural mushroom. So I thought, let's do more of the Telvanni stuff, but a mixture of Necrum stuff as well. And again, if you look on the pattern, I don't want to move this. I could move it, but the design underneath, let me see if I can pull it up actually. Hold on. Where is it here? No. Oh, he's pathing. I think there's carpets on this one. Or yeah, rugs or whatever. Where is it here? I remember. Hard to read on the one screen because it's a bit small, so I'm... Give me a sec here. Where's it? So this is the dark elf kind of rug, and so it has that one kind of style pattern, the 3-point. But where I'm going with this, where's it here? Where are you? So many rugs. No. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. Come on. Getting closer. Not quite. Actually, it's probably easier if I go up from the bottom. Jeez, Chibs. Ah, there you go. So this is the tribunal rug, right? It's kind of hard to see, but well, on my screen because it's a bit small, but if you look at it, the design is the same as the dark elf. Let me go back here. This guy right here, that's basically what it is right there on it, in a circle kind of thing. Okay, now this other thing, this was a bit tricky, but I had this sample. However, it does not light up whatsoever. Unlike this one that does. Ta-da! Turn it off, turn it on. Right? So how did I do that? Because otherwise these are pretty frosty looking, right? Without the light highlighting. So for this instance, I cheated. I used these, well, I didn't cheat, I got inventive, I guess you could say. I took 2 of the kind of lantern, the lantern here. So let's see here. Can I zoom in a little bit? There you go. And then what I did is I combined them. That was a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. And I lined them up, and then I made one big kind of unit, and then basically grouped it with that terrarium in there. And when you have it turned on, then it lights it all up, and it highlights this plant a lot nicer. It looks really, really nice. Otherwise, you can't see. It's so frosted. You have to walk right up to it. But I really like this, and it's a dual purpose, because when you go through here, even though you can see through it, this is a trick too, just FYI. You can see through it, but it gives you a bit of, you know, kind of an illusional wall there without it actually completely blocking it off as a solid piece. I thought that looks actually pretty neato. So I did that. And I like that plant. That looks really neat. And again, you have my little minions doing their thing. And then again, different specimens. I thought, well, okay, let's do this. So let me go in a little bit closer. I mean, I probably could put more. I only have, I think, at like 421 pieces in this house, and you can have up to 600. Yeah. But I don't know, if I have too many little pieces, they get kind of lost. If I have too many big pieces, then it gets really crowded. So I'm not sure, but I'm quite happy with what I have put together so far. And again, I thought, wouldn't this be kind of interesting? We have a little corner here. We can just relax. Again, curl up to the fire. You have the all-seeing eye. I'm thinking Lord of the Rings more so with this eye. Even though I know it's for Cold Harbor, but I thought it's kind of interesting. Gives some interest in life. Cold Harbor Sentinel, yeah. And again, this area, lots of books, lots of reading. And we have our little minion guy here, little watcher, protecting all these books, maybe going through them. And then a little kind of corner area, workbench, another one kind of thing. And stacks of books. Again, for highlighting more color, that kind of thing. More vines, floating books. But yeah, that's what I came up with. Again, just some samples here. We got, excuse me, that book's in my way. We have this with some of the flowers. We have this little trinket box here. Again, some nice, I like the natural candles. They look just fine as is. And it just gives a lot of interest to this area, in this corner in particular, right? So that's what I have going on here. My little guys walking around, guarding the place. The little dwarven spider. There's 2 of them. And then there's the other little, reminds me of E.T. I don't know why, but he does. Running around. And then I really, really love this fossil. I have it in another house, but used in a different way. But I thought, you know, it actually kind of works. And I sunk it into the wall. again, I thought, isn't that kind of interesting as a sample here? It's all fossilized. So this is this area from this perspective. I think it actually turned out pretty nice. There's a lot going on, but at the same token, there's a lot of interesting different things too. Without it being too overwhelming, you know what I mean? And then I love all these different sample mushrooms. And then we go up from here, back up the other side to our little gourds. And then I just like the look of it too, how it kind of, you're walking through and you have this kind of effect on either side, kind of like a tunnel, but without it being too claustrophobic either. Which is really cool. The little guys. Overgrowth. That's the other thing too, when you're like doing stuff and you're layering, it's okay sometimes to overlap and layer each other. It makes it look more natural. If you have it too perfect, that's the problem I find with a lot of like homes with players. They're like, well, I want this, I want this, I want this, I like this look, it's gonna be specific like that, but it doesn't, it looks phony. It just doesn't look, it looks nice, but it could be a bit better, if that makes any sense. It doesn't look as realistic. Yes, Chibs, but this is a game. I know. I'm just picky. Oh, now it's getting dark. I love these because of how they light up and everything. So, this is this house, guys. And this is what I did to design this house. And there you go. And this is the, yeah, the Kelesan'ruhn is the name of it. And it's in the Telvanni Peninsula. And again, 600 traditional furnishing pieces you can max it out to. You can have 8 special furnishings, 40 collectible furnishings, and then like it says there, you have 8 special collectibles as well. So I can still add a lot more if I wish. And I might, and if I do, it might be on the outside, but I just, sometimes less is more. I don't know. And again, if you're kind of wondering, well, where the heck is this? So this is, just a refresher, if you guys came in late, this house is located here. Let me just zoom out a little bit. There it is, right there. In Telvanni Peninsula. It's pretty much north in the map. And if you zoom out a little bit more, you're like, well, where the heck is that if you're a new player? So see that little green arrowhead? Right there, that's where I am located. And there's the Telvanni Peninsula. So it's right off the right-hand side of Stone Falls and Deshawn. Right there. And if you get a chance and you like that kind of size house, maybe that's the one for you guys to get next time if it becomes available. There's a whole bunch. That one, I believe I got it for free. There's a couple houses, if you're lucky enough, sometimes they have quite large houses. But again, it's just a one-off kind of thing. For example, one of the other houses, let me go here. Where is it here? Because you have the different classes. You have the stable home. Those are the small houses. Or like the inn room. that you can collect. Then you have a classic home, which is this size home, which is about maximum 600. And then the largest class you can get, which is the notable homes, is up to 700, give or take, something like that. And one of the notable homes that back in the day was this one, the Grand Sijic Villa. If you were lucky enough, it was a promotional thing where they offered it, and if they had enough players, who was playing and completing the certain aspects of the game, they had a couple different classes, and if they had enough people that they were trying to get to play Somerset at the time, then they offered that house to those of you who had the game as a free house, which is fantastic. So that was one that was like really nice to collect. The one that I showcased was another one. Let me see. Oh yeah. So the Hall of the Lunar Champion. So those of you who played like elsewhere, yeah. Obviously, if you went through and you got the other tablets, because you get the main tablet, and that's fine. You can only go to one part of the house, but if you collected the other tablets, then you could open up the other two sections of that house. What was the other one? Oh yeah, this one, more recently. Right, the Sword Singer's Redoubt house. The Alkir Oasis house, yeah. And that one is neat. I'm almost done on that one. Not quite, but that's a huge house. This one, not quite done yet. I'm trying to remember which houses were free in certain... This one also was a free house. Yes, I remember that as well. Yep, they had this available for Western Skyrim area when it kind of became available. And I remember you had to get in on that. If you didn't, then you didn't get it for free. And this was considered a classic home, so, but it's a large classic home considering. So that one you could have gotten for free as well. What was the other ones? Yeah, this one that I just showed you guys. And then this one too, recently, not too long ago. That's my storage shed, yeah. Yes, and then this one too, the Ordon Villa, the Sea Bloom Villa, right. And that one, yeah, you had to register to get that one for free as well. I haven't finished that one yet, but that was another one that you could have gotten for free. So it is very important, guys, if you want to get some houses that aren't just like the small inns and you'd like something a little bit bigger, to keep an ear out, definitely, especially when Bethesda for Elder Scrolls Online announces these things, because if you snooze, you lose sometimes, right? And a lot of people are like, oh man, I wish that's a great house. Oh, how much did that cost you? Oh, I got it for free. Free? How did you get that for free? Well, again, timing, right? And so you have to kind of be a little bit on the lookout for some of these announcements, basically. But yeah. And then for the stable homes, you can get like so many free like houses from here too. And a lot of people don't realize it. So you have the different regional areas. And again, like Jimmy was saying, if you want, these are great, okay? Especially for you guys who are new players and you're like, oh, can someone like taxi me to such and such zone and region kind of area? I you know, I don't want to be spending all my precious in-game coins, gold. It's cost me a fortune to go everywhere, fast travel. You can do that, which is really cool, and most people forget about that. So if you have, for example, these smaller stable homes that you can get, a lot of them for free, the different inns, Yeah, you can just fast travel and then bam, you're right in that regional zone if you have that house. And like Jimmy was talking about too, a lot of people are like, oh, I need more place to put some stuff and everything. I'm maxed out on my character. And as you may know, yeah, like unless you upgrade your backpack kind of thing, or you make a guild of your own, for example, right? As long as you have, what is it, 10 players and stuff, then you can max out pretty much like have even more storage in your bank account for your main character that you're playing, right? And for that account. So again, here's another thing. If you're not one of these people who wants to do lots of building and design and you need some place to store your things, well, a lot of people do that. They just like offload and just dump a whole bunch of stuff in some of these like smaller houses. Because again, you can have up to like almost 200 pieces, give or take, depending on the house, for which one you have. So this one, like the stable homes, about give or take. Some of the stable homes are a little bit just over 100 versus some. It's kind of confusing because some of them are a little bit more than that. They're just like around 200-ish, I'm going to say. And versus if you have a medium size, you can have 600 pieces of just junk. If you want, if you're like, I want to build something, but I just have no idea what I'm going to do, but I don't want to keep this on my character, right? And it's just bogging me down. So you can do that in the meantime, like 600, okay? Things in there, which is pretty neat. And, okay, so here's another thing too, if you haven't thought about this as well. If you have, okay, you have those like storage boxes, which hold so much, you can put a whole bunch of the storage boxes in one of those houses. Put, again, like, what is it? About 100 pieces in that, right? And then on top of that, inside the house. So you could have a lot of storage if you really, really wanted to, right? So something to think about. And if you're a new player, you don't know this unless you kind of go through the process of finding this out, or someone's kind enough, aka me, Chibs, to tell you some of these little tips and tricks and that kind of thing, right? Okay, so for example, so some of these stable homes, you're like, well, which ones are free, Chibs? Well, I'll just go through them quickly. We have here, some of them you will have to pay. Like this one, it's a smaller house. I wanted this house. This is one I made as a witch house kind of thing for a competition for Halloween. I love this house. That one was not free, but there's a couple of like this one. This one you had to purchase as well. This one was free. Free. The Rose Wine Retreat, I think you also had to, I think this one you had to purchase if I remember correctly. That one was free, and free. And then some of these that are not collected, those you have to purchase. And if you're lucky enough, okay, you can get them, and this goes for all of them, so you can get them furnished or non-furnished. Even if they're furnished, unless you really, really like it the way that they have it, that's up to you. You can move the pieces around and everything. You can add to that, and that might save you a little bit, but it's a bit costly. But there's a trade-off. So if you're the type of person who's an avid collector of pieces, you are on a bunch of guilds, and the members are really cool and can help you with some of the pieces, and you don't mind taking some time doing that and doing it yourself, you might want to do that because then you have more creative license, I guess is the word I'm looking for, to do it however you wish, kind of thing. But some people, they just don't have time, yeah? And then you can also, some of them, not all of them, it will say exactly how much you can get it for gold. Now, some of them you can't just outright buy them. You have to finish pretty much all the questing of that regional area where that house is located in order to then purchase the house for a set amount. And it will tell you that when you go to the property, okay? So just be aware of that. But some of them are really, really cute. And there's lots and lots to choose from. It's crazy. And if you get a chance, what was it? Actually, not too long ago, and you want to get some of the furnishing packs, keep an eye out for that, because sometimes they come up and you can get them when they're on sale. And sometimes you can get your crowns cheaper, and then there you go, you can do it that way. I'm just thinking of different things that will help you guys when you're doing this, like building and design, for all these different things. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, I will try my best to answer them and whatnot. But if not, and you're just here to watch and learn, that's cool too. Okay, so I think one of the other houses that I wanted to showcase as well, we will do, I believe it is another classic home. Not that one. Yes! Gorinir Estate. I did this a while ago, and I did some stuff that wasn't conventional with it. And this is obviously for Wood Elf House. This is in Grahtwood. And yeah, the Gorinir Estate. So yeah, let's go over there. Let's go check it out. We'll go to the outside first. So what have you been up to, Jimmy? Are you playing a bunch of different games, or if you're still around? Not sure. I was playing a bunch of different games, actually. I took a bit of a break from Elder Scrolls. Alright, so this is the outside of the estate. It is located here. Way up, I guess, yeah, north again of Grahtwood. Bing! There we go. Well, that's central north, I guess you could say. Yeah. Yeah. And Grahtwood is located here. So again, if you're kind of curious, you're new to this, you're like, Chibs, where the heck is Grahtwood? If you're a new player. If you're a seasoned player, you would know where that is. So it's right beside Northern Elsewhere. And just south, Keeper's March, and or Malbor Tor, and east of Greenshade. And there you can see the little green arrowhead, and that's where the house is located here. And I zoom out. And there you go on the map. Right there. Okay. Let's go in the house, shall we? Let's see what's going on with this house. I need to hydrate. Well, I'll let everything load in first. Okay. One thing you'll notice that I really enjoy doing, sometimes I go a little bit crazy with the flora and fauna because I like the fantasy element, and I thought, especially for this one, it's not typical Grahtwood kind of forest stuff, but I wanted it more kind of like a fantasy kind of wood elf type area village kind of thing, if that makes sense. And I love these huge colorful, again, mushrooms. Might not be up your alley, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. This one, again, when I did the furnishings, I tried to focus more with wood elf theme, obviously. Or pieces that would kind of harmonize and would look really nice together. That's the other thing too. We got, oh, who do we have? These little woodland characters. Little bunny. I always tried to add some interest and some life with the animation through lighting and movement. And I wanted to put these big guys here. Why? Because they're very beautiful, very colorful. And I thought that's perfect. So there's two ways of getting in. You can go up the stairs that way. And then you can go around this way. So I think for the purposes, what we're going to do, let me see. What do you guys think? Should we go up the stairs or go to the left? Think about that for a second. And I added in some more trees as well, just to make it more kind of overgrown, that kind of look about it. I think what we're going to do is let's go through here, through the center first. So I decided to do this. I love these. I thought they were so cool, how they're all woven. So I added one on either side, and then I had to have this piece. I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. I wanted this overgrown look as you go up through the path. Again, we have the wood elf lighting here. Wanted to give it an interesting element as you walk through. Add some color, some more mushrooms, some lighting with the torches. Overgrown with all the ivy and everything. And again, I know not for this area, but I love the chandelier. And I wanted to show you guys this house because we have some similarities going on with some of the stuff, but it kind of works. We have a whole bunch of wood elf furnishings. Again, wanted to kind of keep it a little bit on the low key, and the style is kind of like that too, to be honest. But I really, really like this music box. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Try and go closer so you guys can see. And I thought this one was really appropriate. And so this is the Deep Root Dirge music box. And I don't know if you guys can see, but I wish you could zoom in a little bit better, but there's the Spriggan, which is right there. And I thought, I like this one. I'm going to put it in here. And butterflies and everything. So we have a little fire pit for cooking some lovely meat, since wood elves are apparently cannibals in this game. What? They're not vegetarians? What? Nope. And then we have this one area, so if they have to grind up some grain, make flour, I guess. And you have the simple, like, bowls, glasses, pitchers, lovely fermenting sacks of alcohol. Now I did something a little bit different that doesn't come with this house normally. So when you look at this house, you have this pod, that pod and that pod over there. Let's go to this one first. Alright. Going to first person again. Again, the lighting in this game, oh my gosh. It's a huge headache, and I've heard it from many, many people, myself included. I thought the best way to approach this was with the torches. Again, I didn't want too much lighting because I thought, again, these are supposed to be pods, so they're going to be a little bit on the darker side. But add some lighting with either natural lighting, candlelight. There's a little bit of light that comes out of the windows, and then to highlight these torches here, there, whatnot. Because I thought if I use anything else, it's just going to be smoked out in real life. And that wouldn't be good. Again, just simple kind of decorations. I love these. I absolutely love these. I wish, actually, if I had a tree fort, honestly, I would do a hammock idea like this. I think that's fantastic. If the branches can sustain, obviously, the weight of somebody, if it is stretched with material like that. But wouldn't that be super cool? I just love those. And I thought it gives a little bit more interest and element to the actual space. But at the same token, you know, these wood elves, they want to commiserate. They want to sit around the fire. They want to talk and, you know, discuss different strategies and other things, what's been going on. And if you come to my house, you can actually read some of these different books. There you go. If you wish. And again, some people I've seen, they put like, you could put a whole bunch of different things. You could put like hanging different meat or whatever. But to me, it made more sense kind of for, again, blankets, that kind of thing, to store things. So I just kind of kept it sort of simple, but at the same time effective. And I really, really love these. Again, if you, they usually don't come with that. I combine it with the common fire pit in it. But the lighting, it looks really good. You have to sink it in a little bit, otherwise it looks kind of funny and it's too high. And then you group them together, and then this is what comes as. Now you can get the Witch's Cauldron version, which has green flames, but it's a bit too green. I mean, if that's what you're going for, I mean, go for it, right? Who am I to judge? But for the purpose of what I was trying to achieve, I was going more with this. And also because the lighting kind of matched with everything in the said kind of miniature pods. But I love this. And then I had that left over, and I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. It doesn't really light up the room, but just for different interests, I thought with the coloring and everything. Okay, let's go to the other pod, which is over here. All right, and this I did a little bit different. So I have the main table. He has his little pet lizard who's being bad on the table. But I decided I wanted some privacy, and I did it a little bit differently. So I have obviously a little cooking area that you can do that. We have some storage with the shelves, but I wanted it kind of this way, and I liked how the lighting, and then again, there's a bunch of grouping together, and then we have obviously the simple wood elf kind of bed set up, and then I did it like this. I thought that looked really, really pretty. Just the lighting. Again, very simple. Kind of works. the different hides that they have. Okay. Now this is different. Really like, what the heck? Okay. This house normally has only those 3 pods and then that's it. But I added some extensions to this. I added, what the heck, a bunch of these different walking kind of paths there. And another one on this side as well. So I'll zoom out. Got some more stuff down there. So I added this wooden bridge. It's a fantastic bridge. This platform I had to add in and attach it to this huge tree because I'm like, you know what would be super cool? Like, don't get me wrong, these pods are pretty neat. But realistically, from a vantage point, if someone was to guard certain areas, you need to see from higher levels, right? This is what I kind of came up with. So I thought, this is perfect because you can see exactly who's coming in right down below from this point. If you wanted to, you could guard it from here. Again, I just took some of those mushroom shelves pieces and sunk them into the tree. And then we have this particular style bed. Again, just some for interest, some seating area. In case there's a couple different guards up here. And this sort of watchtower idea. So if they had to, and say they were invaded or something, I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. Literally, when I was designing this, I was like, you know, these are actually pretty cool vantage points. Why didn't the game actually take advantage of that? Like, don't get me wrong, the trees are really cool by themselves, but wouldn't it be kind of interesting if there was an extension to these bigger trees? So that's what I did. I thought I'd take advantage of all this, like, you know, vertical space. Might as well. When you're walking, you can see exactly what's going on that side as well as over here. Which we will get to eventually. And then the other pathway that I added onto this that isn't included with this particular house is this. So I added this here. Now this is Argonian, and same with the ramp going up to it, but it worked pretty well. Now the only problem is lining it up wasn't exact. I tried as best I could. Now you have to keep in mind, I wish Bethesda, anybody who's listening, just saying, some examples I think would be super, super cool, especially when you're doing the design aspect with housing and everything. Like, this bridge is set exactly one way. It's not like you can bend or manipulate, like either lengthen or shorten. Wouldn't that be freaking cool if they actually added an element like that to the game, though? That would be awesome. I can only imagine how creative some people could be, especially with pieces like this, for example, where it's you want to maybe make the bridge narrower or maybe a little bit wider, or maybe, you know, you want to add a bit of a curvature to it or something. So, you know, just a thought, food for thought. Wouldn't that be cool if they would do something like that? And the only reason why I jokingly say, if you're listening, anybody from Bethesda, because some of my ideas I have actually mentioned before in the past, and I swear they have gremlins or something listening in, because some of my ideas they actually did make into proper houses. One of which was the first house that was a boat, which is in the cave cove area, and they actually made that happen after I said that. Literally, probably about 4 months after I mentioned that, which is kind of creepy and weird, but whatever. You didn't see that? She has magic. She can just walk through branches. That's... That's a Bethesda thing, whatever. But anyways, so again, I added a platform. Again, I thought, wouldn't this be cool? You have another vantage point to see what is going on over here. So I did this again. We have more eating areas. You have a couple areas for people to rest from being guards, I guess. And again, if you come to this house, more reading material that if you want, you can read these different volumes. Get credit for. And I didn't want them to fall off, so I used the solitude fencing. Because if you don't, you can easily just do that. You'll fall off of that if you're not careful. And I didn't really want that. So this is what I came up with, this huge tree, which is enormous. Because I thought, oh, I'll just jump on it. And it's like, no, you go through it. I don't know, that's... Someone can put a ticket for that, but... I don't know if any of you knew that that was the case, but yes, it is. Who knows? They might fix that one of these days. Alright, so let's go down to the lower part, shall we? There's a lot to see still. Okay. I'm gonna kind of cut through here. I'm gonna cheat. And I'm gonna walk through the other path here. So I'll go through first person again so you guys can kind of see a little bit better. But again, when I was doing this and the layout of the trees and the colorful mushrooms, I wanted that kind of effect that basically you're walking in a forest and you have so much, not only one way looking that it looks like this, but when you turn around, again, it's kind of encompassing you as you go through these different areas. So I have a bunch of different mushrooms, and again, I wanted some light to it, so some of these samples are from different areas. And I just thought to make it more kind of fantasy looking, I guess you could say. Because you wouldn't see a lot of these types of samples in this normal area. So this is a little bit different. And then as I turn around, let's see what I'm talking about. So as I walk through, you have the kind of branches kind of encompassing, going around, and these tall trees, but not making it too claustrophobic either. And some added interest with different colors and varieties. And can't forget my bee barn. I know it's a beehive, but I call them bee barns. And then I added this little extra guy here, the wood elf, or the large, what kind of bee is that? Where is it? Of course, no, I can't highlight it. Oh, mead dancing honeybee, that's what it is. It's a huge bee. We have that. And I wanted to kind of cover the main path as well from the... So you can't really see it too easily how to get up there. I wanted to kind of camouflage that. And then my wood elf character, this is actually her main mount that she rides. And I thought, we'll make this more her house, really, but I'm trying to make a house for each of my different characters, I guess you could say. And I've been putting this off for a bit. And again, I know some of these aren't from this region, but I'm trying to make it more kind of like a fantasy type forest jungle area, I guess you could say, that go with the kind of pods and everything like that. In case somebody's like, that's not from that area. Why did she do it that way? Well, that was the intent because of the idea, I guess. You don't have to do it this way, but if you're kind of like, how does one do that? And I like this. So I combined this as well. And I thought, wouldn't this be kind of interesting? So you have like an outdoor kind of cookery area. Because again, I'm thinking this is going to house a whole bunch of different elves. Hence why you see like so many different like sleeping mats and or areas. So not just for one or two. And if they have anybody coming to visit too, right? And if they're doing trade or whatever. And then this lovely colorful cookbook. So a lot of stuff you'll find a lot of people tend to do is as they collect stuff, they think, oh, okay, you know, I can incorporate this with that and mix and match and whatnot. We have some fish as well as meat. And then I would group a bunch of things too, because this isn't an actual piece. That's 3 pieces grouped together. That's a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy sometimes when you combine things. Some of my friends are like, where did you get that piece? I'm like, I made that. That's like 3 pieces in one. They're like, what? I'm like, yep. Like this, for example, this is not a piece. This is one that I combined here. So it has 4 legs, and then I took 2 halves, and then I combined them on the sides to make it kind of look like that with the covers. How to describe? Again, you have kind of your ceremonial little area. Commiserate, talk to each other. Some little kind of tented areas. Coverage. And then we're going underneath one of these pods here. I just love this particular one. This, I think, what is it? There's the one with the 1 pod, and then I think maybe 2. This is I think the largest with the 3, if I remember correctly. And again, the lighting, I just love these. These are wood elf as well. The hanging, it says sensor, but it's like a hanging brazier type thing, actually. What? And I use those actually for my witch houses as well. They look great. They look fantastic, actually. For like kind of more natural, and they have a bit of moss to them. So, and they're, I believe, stone as well. If you look at them, I love the curvature of going to the different pods. And I wanted to really highlight like the moss and everything. And again, just really beautiful. And I use different sample trees for interest. And I try to use multiple different scales. So when you're building, another thing, a tip to keep in mind, whatever you do, use as many large pieces first, okay? And then work your way down. Now this house has, yes, 600 again for traditional furnishings. And again, 8 special furnishings, 40 collectible, and 8 special collectible. So 8 special collectibles are more for like special effects kind of thing. And if you're kind of curious, you're like, well, how do I know what that is? I'll show you, for example. So if you go to, say, miscellaneous. Now, on the right-hand side of the particular item that you are looking at, or say you have one already, and you're wondering, is it like one of those? So this one says, for example, when it says at the very bottom, furnishing limit type, this is a traditional, okay? So that wouldn't apply. So you'll see, okay, couple traditional. Da 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 da. There we go. So these bubbles, you'll notice it changed. It says special furnishing, okay? So that's one, for example. And you can have up to 8 in this house. What's another one? That's again traditional. There we go. Mist of the Hag Fin. So that's another special one. So if you want something kind of a smoky effect or something like that, or fog type effect, there you go. Now these butterflies is interesting, and as they are, no, they're traditional as well. Same with the lovely firefly kind of effect. Traditional. Again, here's another one, special furnishing. So this is the Steam of Repose, right? Again, if you wanted this kind of foggy effect, you might have stuff that works, you might not, but they have up to 8 if you choose to go that route and you decide, I want to make my place look completely different, not typical, and I have a really great idea and I think I'm going to use some of these effects. So you can use up to 8 of these, right? Webs, unfortunately, do not count. They are just traditional furnishings. I honestly wish Bethesda was a little bit better about stuff like this, because, as I said, unless you really pay attention and you actually read the details, you will think, well, I have some special stuff, yeah? And technically they consider it, no, it's not. So this is where it gets a bit confusing. Where they should, for example, if they're going to do that, right? It would be nice if they put all the traditional in the miscellaneous all grouped together, and then have like a break, and then underneath special, like kind of categorized that way, so you know exactly what's what, just to help things as a player visually when you're looking and going, well, which one's which? So those are some of the examples that you could use if you wanted to maximize those 8 spots for this particular mid-size house. All right. And again, I know this is not Wood Elf, but it still has kind of that element. And what I mean by that is, let's try to zoom in a little bit more. So I like how the branches, they intertwine and kind of cross into each other. Kind of like, where is it back here? Let me run. Run. Where is it? This one. Yes. See? Same but different? But yeah. And that is Wood Elf. But this one is not. Dun, 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 dun. Run, chips, run! And again, so this particular piece is the Dawnwood Orange Lights Sprouted Arch. But I liked it because it had some little lights in it, and I thought, you know, this is cute. And I decided to do the hand fasting kind of pedestal. So if you wanted your characters to get married and everything, and then we have in the backdrop there the ritual stone of Dibella, sorry. And so I thought, for visual interest. And then I thought with the lighting, with the blues from the different, again, mushrooms, and then these glowing trumpet style mushrooms. And then you have over here the luminescent veil flower as well. And some of them you can get from furnishing packs, not all of them. And unfortunately, some of the pieces, if you're lucky, okay, especially if you're looking for specific types of trees or mushrooms or anything like that, each of the different areas and zones have different furnishers that you can go and check out. And some will have specialty type items that, again, you can only get once you have completed, you know, the different storylines for that particular zone, right? And then it unlocks it, and then you just pay however much it is worth. And then there's other items like where it has a whole bunch of the different kind of trees, shrubs, mushrooms, that kind of thing like that. Some of them you can just not get at all, which sucks. I don't agree with that. So if you like a particular tree and you're absolutely in love with it and everything, you might have to save up on your crowns. And what you'll have to do is you go into your housing. And so anything that's yours is in your place. You press R, well, because I'm playing on PlayStation, so R1 to go to the next section. Under purchase, and you would go to conservatory. And there's 839 pieces there, all right? And again, it's broken up into different sections. So we have aquatic, for example, so anything you want regarding that. And you have boulders and large rocks. So if you want particular rocks or something, or crystals, for example. And we have here the dead wood. So if there's certain pieces that you want, there's that. Then you have the next section, which are the different types of ferns. So for example, the first one you see there is the apocrypha. So it's kind of neat actually, because it will tell you, so you cannot buy this with in-house gold. You have to use crowns. Well, how do I get crowns? Well, the only way you can get crowns is you have to use real money and you have to purchase crowns, which is the currency that is used for this. Okay? So keep that in mind. So again, some people you'll see in chat, they'll write, oh, yeah, you know, they're selling certain things. And if you're lucky enough, they might have some of these pieces that you can purchase off of them. So there's that as an option if you want. Or you can like do trade or something like that. So it might be worthwhile if you have an extra guild spot, right? Because you have up to, what is it, 5? Yeah, you can sign up to. So if you have, say, 3 or 4, maybe one of them you want to put aside for specifically joining a really good housing guild. And then that way, if you're stuck or you have questions or, you know, say you have learned all the patterns of that you can on your main build or main character that you decide to be is kind of going to be your master crafter eventually, but you have duplicates. Well, one thing you can do, you can either have, if you wish, your other characters learn that, or you could go on to the guilds and say, hey, I have a bunch of these. I could either do trade because I'm looking for this, or 2, you could sell it that way as well. So you have options. There's a whole bunch of different variety of ferns kind of thing. But what I'm saying is the reason why you might want to check this out is as there's new DLCs, as there's new regions or zones that you haven't really had a chance to explore yet, and you see a certain house that is going to be one of those things, you might want to check this out and see what they have to give you an idea, because some of these pieces, okay, this is where it's important. Some of these pieces that you see here are available at some of those furnishers that you can buy stuff from. So don't waste your money if you can avoid it, using real money to buy crowns to buy these things. If you can get the majority of things. Now, if it's a one-off, you're like, I really, really, absolutely love this tree, I have to have it, Chibs. Well, then that's up to you. You can do that as well. There's nothing wrong with that if you wish. Then they have this whole thing for a whole bunch of different flowers. So they have stuff that, like I said, you can sometimes get at furnishers, or if you're lucky enough, you might even pick up like a recipe or a pattern kind of thing that, you know, has some of this stuff. So this is why I know a lot of people, when they play this game, they're like, oh man, I have to get all these mats to do this. Yes, but it's worthwhile. I know a lot of people want to just speed through it, but my goodness, the amount of times I picked up so much stuff just because I took a second to go looking through all this. And you'd be surprised, some of these drops, you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I learned this, I didn't know I had that. And you read it, and then yeah, you got it. So we got a whole bunch of flowers here. Then we got the next section for giant trees. Like, these are massive, hence why it's like, this is a huge house item. They're not kidding when they're talking about that. Then you have, what is it, hedges? So a whole bunch. And this is where people get really, really creative. And you have the ice and snow. And this is this whole section for all these mushrooms and everything. And yeah. But it really depends on the drops too. It's hit or miss with RNG, right? And you got the plants. Whole bunch. Different areas. And then you have this next section here. So these are saplings, so smaller kind of trees and whatnot, but smaller scale. I love, what is it? Like, these are nice, the autumn. But again, another thing too, if you want trees, like Jimmy, who was on here earlier, he was saying, yes, definitely. It's from Friday to Sunday. The weekend, go to Cold Harbor and check out the furnishing vendor and see what they got. We're gonna go and do that if you haven't had a chance after this to see what they got. And then we got, what is this here? Shrubs, a whole bunch of these. Like this, what is it? This one, this one, this one you can buy. So don't buy them here. You can buy them cheaper at the furnisher. And then we got, what is it here? Stones and pebbles. So kind of like these stalactite, stalagmite type formations and stuff. And then more trees. A little bit different. And then you got vines, tons and tons of vines. Different varieties here. So that's where you find that. So some people are like, yeah, but where do you get all these cool trees and stuff from? Like, how'd you get that and everything? But what I'm saying is, under the purchasing item, you have stuff for services, conservatory, courtyard, dining, gallery, hearth, library, lighting, miscellaneous, parlor, structures, suite, undercroft, and workshop. And it says beside it exactly how many of these different items. So you can imagine how many it's worthwhile to check before, like, or if you haven't had a chance to get the newest DLC or zone or whatnot, to see what's coming up for certain pieces, because they always put it in there right away, immediately, because they know a lot of the people in the different community, they like to do all this design and building, and they like to see all these new pieces and what's coming out and everything. But keep in mind, check this first, because you'll be like, okay, now I remember, right, I was in here, I saw these new pieces, and it'll say beside the description what it is. So when you go to the new zone, go to the furnisher, find it, and then basically from there you can just see which pieces you can purchase for yourself and unlock, which is really cool. Samson, how are you doing? What are you up to? Right now, currently, I'm showcasing some different houses. So I did one, and then this is the other house for the wood elf here. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. It's been a while. I decided just to come through here tonight, do a practice stream since I haven't done it for some time. A bit rusty. Ah! I took a little bit of a break, but I'm hoping I'll be back doing some of these more so, especially in May onwards kind of thing. But I thought, wouldn't this be kind of cool? Because I've been working on some of these houses and I got them done. I'm like, well, now I can showcase them. So that's basically the purpose of tonight's stream. So this, as I said, is what I did for the wood elf design. Just to give you an idea. And this is the lower level. And if you missed it, that's okay. It's going to be recorded. And then what I'm going to do too is after this, because I usually stream on Twitch, but then I'm going to upload this and put it on my YouTube channel as well. So if you missed it, don't worry. It'll be on Twitch for, what is it, 14 days? And then after that it disappears, but it will stay for preservation purposes and also for my own reference on my YouTube channel. So if you guys want ideas or want to go back to it going, how did Chips do that? Right, it was on this house she was doing that. But I really liked how this turned out. It looked really, really cool. Yeah, I'm good. Getting ready to go out. Oh, okay. Wife says I'm... You must visit the barber. Are you getting some shabby chic going on with the beard? Shabby chicness going on. Yep. No worries. It's important to take care of yourself, Mr. Samson. She's trying to keep a good eye on you. Make sure you're all good. You're all nicely kept. You're presentable. Listen, if I'm going out in public and you're coming with me, some changes need to be made. No, I'm sure she says it much nicer. She does. She just probably doesn't say anything like that at all. Kidding. So yeah, this is my version of the fantasy house that I did for here. And this is for my wood elves. And again, so if you missed out, it's in Grahtwood. And zoom out, kind of the northern spot there. And if you zoom out again, oh, there's Grahtwood on the map and Tamriel. And Grahtwood, as you can see, is southwest of Northern Ellsworth, south of Reaper's March, southeastish, I guess you could say, of Melville Tor, and then east of Greenshade. And overall, this is right there. And that's Tamriel. That little green dot. Yeah, and I need a haircut, she says. 15 years ago, she said it looked nice. Now, nowadays, she just says it. Ah, that's hilarious. You gonna get that done today? As well as shopping? All right. So now let us, yes. Well, what is it? They say happy wife, happy life. Something like that. Let us go to Cold Harbor. And we're going to go to the Hollow City Way Shrine. And again, this is where you want to go every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay? Now remember, each and every weekend, it changes. It's never the same thing. Okay? But that's okay. Even if you miss out, don't worry. So all these items always recirculate, but it'll be quite some time until they do. So you'll have to constantly check. Or if you missed out, again, if you go, I'll show you after we go here, you can go to Guild Trader, wherever location you decide is your preference. And you can see that some people buy extras of some of these items and then they sell them. Now, some of them you can get at an okay deal, but you have to shop around. Don't always go with the first one. So, okay? Keep that in mind. Now we're going to fast travel over here. Would you like to fast travel? Yes, please. Let us do that. Cold Harbor! Darn loading screens. Curse you, loading screens. There we go. Alright. Okay, so. But she's right. With Spirit, I look up. Like a shady cult leader? Good lord. Samson. That's a bit. It's a scary image. I don't need. But I'm sure you rock the beard. I'm sure it looked quite wonderful. Especially if it's somewhat kept. If it's unkept and you have a bird's nest and birds, then you have some serious problems, definitely, I think. Yeah. So these, for example, are different guild traders that you can go and see. But these aren't the main ones that we want to go to. In order to go, you gotta go this way. So I'm gonna go on Puddle Jumper, PJ here. And a little Kaludi. So this is PJ Senior and PJ Junior is following behind. Okay. There we go, we got a bunch of people here. Okay. So it's right here. Now, a long time ago, those of you who are veteran players, this wasn't here. It actually used to be, believe it or not. You had to go in here. So you can also get furnishing stuff still here. Right, so I'll show you. And there's PJ Jr. right there, small version. So you can talk to Lozadusk, and he has
reputation can be tough
particular achievement furnishings that you can get.
For your home. If nothing else, it'll take your mind off the fact that everybody's trying to kill you.
Yeah, when the breakfast makes it to your mouth, but it gets stuck to the beard, it's time. Yes. I agree. This is a bit disturbing. Sorry. So let's take a look at this, the preview version. So for example, there's the Alien Throne. There's a bunch of different things that you can get. And so again, if you don't have enough money, it's red. I'm poor right now, but on this character. And but yeah, you can buy these and it tells you how much. And then this guy basically here, he's just a regular character. Oops.
Isn't it amazing?
And
the
you
crisis has ended, but our
just
little
regular
town will
store
continue.
merchant, so you can talk to him if you need stuff for that. And the same with her, you can talk to her. But this is the other furnishing fellow that you can talk to.
I have no reason to harm you, mortal. As long as you buy something, I'm sure we'll get along fine.
So he does more of the home goods furnishing. And again, there's a whole bunch. So, and each area has more specific stuff. Some of them you'll see are similar, like the blocks of wood, some of the stones, some of these different like crates. Just quickly going through this. Yeah, these little benches. But like for this particular area in Cold Harbor, like those jagged stones or these withered thicket saplings, they're kind of interesting. So if you have like a Cold Harbor house, these are fantastic. I love these trees. I use them actually in a couple other houses of mine. And these are great too, actually. Pretty cool. But they're pretty reasonable, right? Like 5,000 gold and 2,500. That's not bad. And they're large pieces. But I want to go to the other one. Yeah, I think she's right. I think, yeah, you might, if it's as bad as what you say it is, Samson, you might have to get something done about that. Really? I don't think you need to, like, totally be in his face to talk to him, but thank you for cutting in front. There you go. So we need to talk to Zanil. He's the luxury, as you see, furnisher, okay? So you come and see him.
You never know where I'll turn up next, so take advantage of your good fortune while we're both in the same location.
And hence it says store luxury furniture, right? So you go in there. Let's see, what has he got for this week? Ooh, he has a gold piece too. So he's got different signs. So say if you have a house and you want some signage. So we got this one for like a food hall. So, okay, so if you want a banker, yeah. Or sorry, banner furnishings, pardon me. But, so you know it's for furnishings. And this, for an outfit station, right? So you have a large, a small one. Ooh, what is this one? Colovian medallion grape. Okay, and so this one, if you have like a stable, there you go. So again, 12k, 4,000, 5,000, 12. So this one's the most expensive, 25. You think I'm made out of money? What? No. And again, every weekend it changes. So if you don't get it between Friday and Sunday, that's it. Next week, it'll be something completely different altogether. So keep that in mind. So if you snooze, you lose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one place that's actually really good. Actually. That I like to go to. Actually, I'm going to jump. PJ, where are you? There we go. Go, PJ, go! Oops, not the most graceful. Let's see here.
What do you want?
Rude. Don't ask me what I want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I want a Zigga Zigga. Right, okay. So I'm gonna zoom out here. And we're gonna go to... It's on in Deshawn, so let's go check it out here. Now, you don't want to go here. Or no, sorry, I'm thinking wrong area. Wrong map. What am I thinking? Yes, you do want to go here. Derp. Mournehold Way Shrine. Yes, please. Well, I hope that your beard trimming and haircut goes smoothly. I'm sure you'll look fantastic when it's all said and done. And to prove it, you're gonna have to send me a picture. See, I got it done! Okay. Alrighty. Now, what I like about this area, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of different guild traders here, all at your fingertips, which is absolutely fantastic. So you have 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last one here, 7, which is pretty nice, actually. Good to see you doing good. I have to hit the shower trying to untangle this. No worries. Thank you so much, Samson, for dropping by. It's always a pleasure catching up with you. I hope you and your missus are doing well, and I hope to see you again in future. And have a fantastic day. Hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye. So you can actually talk to each and every one of these different lovely guild traders. And the best way to get the best deals, well, just like anything, even in real life, is to do your homework and to shop around. Every guild trader has different things. And you might have to go to different areas. So you've got to do your homework. If you have all the money in the world, be my guest. And you can blow all your money all in just one place. But I work hard for my money. And I don't want to waste it if I do have to spend it. So what you want to do is you go down here to the category. Now it says all items. If you want all items and you want to see everything and anything, then be my guest. However, to make it a little bit easier, you click on the drop down box. And as you can see, it has it broken down into different categories. So you have weapons, apparel, jewelry, consumables, materials, glyphs, furnishings, companion equipment, and miscellaneous. Always my favorite Canadian streamer. Aw, thank you. Well, I only know one, but still, yeah, that's fine. Hence why I'm number 1. I'm the only one that you know from Canada so far. Until that changes, but you know. Take care, Samson. Always a pleasure hanging out and chatting with you. So what we want to do is make it a little bit easier for ourselves. Let's go up to furnishings. So you select furnishings, then you notice that this says all furnishings. All right. Again, you can break that down if you wish to refine your search. Again, so you're not wasting time. Select the drop down. Then you can choose, okay, I want crafting station. Do I want a target dummy? Does this perhaps skilled trader here have something on only on lighting or seating or other furnishings? But to make it easier, because I think some people, when they categorize stuff, when they post it here, they don't always do the best. So just to make sure you don't miss it, I just keep it on all furnishings, right? And then once you're done that, then you're good to go and you press submit. So for me on my PlayStation, since I'm playing and showcasing that to you on here, it would be the square button to submit. Now it will show all the results and it shows exactly the item, how many days, how much per unit, right? And the total currency value. And this, you don't use crowns at all, okay? So you're not actually using real money to purchase game crowned currency, if that makes sense, to then purchase stuff from, i.e. Bethesda. This is actually gold gain money that you earn either from pickpocketing and selling to a fence or stealing or items. And again, finding money. Or you could obviously do all your different, your writs, right? Make money from that. You make money also from, oh my goodness, basically anything you pick up anywhere in like a dungeon or like your dailies, that kind of thing. So you just sell, and then you make all this money, right? In many different ways. So that gold that you make, right, that you have on your character's account, then you just use that, and then there you go. And it's like, oh, okay, now I can buy something like this. So we're going to zoom in here just so you can see. So again, in this instance, to preview it, you press the square button, and then it shows it a little bit better because you're like squinting going, I can't even see that. What the heck is that? So again, either left button or right button on PlayStation controller to then basically look at the different items that they have there and whatnot. So you can see, okay, so there you go. There's the Haggraven Cauldron. That's the other version. That's not the one that I had, but someone's selling it. And this is the one that you can interact and you can turn on. It has that green light. Now, it looks cool in certain instances, but it's a very bright green light, so you might not want it for some others. But if you just want to leave it the way it is, extinguished, that's fine too. So you'll find tons of different things. Different tapestries, different types of furnishings, different pieces, like different walls, right? There's some of these plants I'm talking about, right? So you're like, I wanted this hosta. There you go. Well, this person is selling it, right? So if you're like, okay, well, how much is that? So for that particular hosta, it's 4,000 gold that they want. If you want it, and you're like, I really, really want that. I've looked at all the other places. I can't find that particular type of plant. No one's selling it. You go back here. You then go, yep, I'll buy it. So press X for 4,000. And what happens is once you've purchased it, so if you're a veteran player, you know this kind of thing. I'm doing this more from the perspective if you're new to this and you don't know how to do this, right? Or you're a new player. So you purchase it, and then what happens is then it gets sent to you via your inbox, like your mail kind of thing. And if it doesn't pop up right away, don't worry about it. If you travel somewhere else, usually by the time, like if you fast travel anywhere or something like that, or go to a different house or something, or different regional zone, then what happens is it kind of updates that, your inbox, and then poop, it just pops up like that, and then poof, it's right there, and you can access it. You press X, and then it goes into your inventory. And then what happens is when you are, oops, no, don't do that. So you can look in your, where is it here? Of course, I'm not in my house. You can go to your inventory and you can look this way under furnishings. And then it'll show you kind of in that whole section there what you have, right, for conservatory. And then, for example, if it's courtyard, dining, it'll break it down into the different sections kind of thing, blah, 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 right? Hearth, library, lighting, we got like a whole bunch of different things, miscellaneous, parlor, services. Yeah, music boxes are under services, go figure. So, and if you're wondering, how do I get a music box? Well, okay. If you're a collector of music boxes, it's a little bit different. No one that I've seen so far, now I could be wrong, but as I have seen, no one has purchased those and then resold them ever, because most of them are on the pricey side, I guess, because you have to use, again, crowns to purchase that, right? So where do you get that? Okay, so if you go to, where is it here? La, 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 la. I don't want daily rewards. Where is it? In store? Right. Okay. So when you go to store, let me go through that again. So you go to the crown store. Store. So it'll show you the different categories. You have like featured, you know, what's new and upcoming. So see, this is a furnishing item, which is fantastic. I actually have this piece. It's beautiful. Okay, let's look at it. This is amazing. It's a huge piece, the statue. And it has a whole bunch of different variety of animations that you can select if you wish. That's the third one. That's the fourth one. Oh, sorry. Got the three: active, inactive, and then one that has all three elements to it, which is kind of cool. So those only come up every so often, and then that's it. So again, once they're gone, you gotta wait till like almost a full year before it comes back again. But this is kind of the area where you would find some of these specialty kind of items for either housing. You can also go, is it here? For limited time offers. If you are an ESO Plus member, it'll show you the difference between the prices and crowns. So the cheaper the yellow or gold colored price is if you are a member. It's a little bit of a bonus there. If they have special offers, you can go check that out. Some of these items you can find if you're willing to gamble, because it literally is that. Going through and purchasing crown crates. Why? Because, well, here you go. I'll show you. So some of these mounts, again, this is a little bit different. So the little symbol that's beside the currency, those are crown gems. What's the difference between crowns, gems, and gold? There's three different things. Okay. In-house gold is what I mentioned before, is you can get it many different ways playing the game. Crowns, you have to use real currency in order to purchase the game currency called crowns for specific items, and they look like just like literally a crown symbol. These crown gems are different still. So it has the crown symbol on the inside of like, kind of looks like a coin, right? Those you only get when you decide to use real crowns or your currency, real money, to purchase crown crates. Then it's basically kind of like, well, I call it gambling because it literally is that. It's like and it's just like you hope for the best. It's kind of like a chance that you might get these, you might not. So you'll get some of these different items and not necessarily the ones that are listed here. It's just random, whatever comes. And so you could get stuff under like the Apex Awards section here, right? So you could get mounts, you could get skins, you could get different like emote, like animation kind of thing. You can get gear, you can get like, I got this piece. This is a really cool stage. This is a huge piece too. And it's fantastic and it lights up. And again, once these are gone, that's it. You're going to wait until maybe next time. If it does come back, you don't know. And then you have these different motifs too, which are pretty cool. So if you want to become truly a master crafter, you don't have to, keep this in mind, you do not have to purchase them this way. This is an option that Bethesda offers. Why? Because basically people don't want to do the grind, but you can get those pieces in certain regional zones, but you got to do the grind for it. You just got to find the pieces. And you gotta redo until they drop. And if you can't be bothered to do that, then you can get some of these. So it shows you the light pieces. For example, this is for this particular Welknar style. And it will tell you if you already know this, and I do know this because it says already in your library, for example. So this is what the light gear looks like for this particular one. Then you have, for example, medium. And then lastly, your heavy, if you wish to go that route. But keep in mind, as tempting as it is, if you want that, you're going to have to spend real money to get the crown crates. And then what you're going to have to do is then the items that you don't want or whatever, you can sell them back. And then you get a certain amount of currency that adds up. So see underneath it says at the bottom, so many crown gems. I have 12 there, for example, right? And yeah, so if you have 100 crown gems worth, you can purchase that particular item or, like I said, motif or whatever you want kind of thing. And certain pieces, like it says, it'll have so many days left. So if you absolutely want that mount, if you absolutely want that particular item or furnishing or something like that, in fact, then yeah, be my guest. You can you can get that if you wish, but you don't have to. It's just an option. And they have also non-combat pets, as well as regular mounts. They have like a whole bunch of different things. And there you go. So that, guys, in a nutshell, really kind of is a breakdown of all the different ways that you can basically... Holy cow. How do I break this down? You can basically either purchase, if you want, in-house, or purchase through a guild, right? Or purchase if you have in-house money. So there's different ways of going about doing that. Also, there's different ways of collecting and finding the different pieces by, like I said, you gotta do the grind, you gotta do the dungeons, you gotta do your dailies, you gotta do the different zones, finding through your mats, and so you can make these pieces because you'll be finding recipes and patterns, right? So there's a lot to do in this game besides PvE, PvP, trials, right? And then you have this other aspect, which is a lot of fun, your housing and design, which is really interesting as well. So that's one thing I like about Elder Scrolls Online. There's lots of different options, lots of different things you can see and do with this game if you wish. So it's really, really cool. And if you get a chance and you're willing to give it some time and doing your research and homework, you can do that and have a lot of fun with this game. On that note, oh my goodness, I can't believe the time already. We're already here. Yeah, so on behalf of myself, Gamer Girl TV, aka Chips, I want to thank all of you who watched, lurked, participated in chat. It's always a pleasure and it's always great fun to catch up with you. So Samson72 TV, we got Jimmy2 Blunt, we have Wedwo who were active in chat talking to me, as well as the rest of you. I saw you guys popping in and out here and there. I hope you got some really good information, some tidbits and tips and tricks of that sort to help you enjoy this game, especially when it comes to housing and design. For those of you who might be new to the game or new to housing and design, or even veteran players who might have only done certain things a certain way, maybe you learned something that you could take away from this as well. There you go, and got some valuable insight and information from this. So on that note, I think we're going to cut it off here. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my house where I do most of my my crafting. Where is it here? Yes, the Colossal Aldemary Grotto. Yes, let's go there. And I'm gonna park my character there. But yeah, it's always a pleasure talking about this stuff with you guys. You know, discussing what your likes, your dislikes, that kind of stuff are about the game. What you think would be really neat to improve upon stuff. Just giving information to one another and bouncing ideas. I love that. It's fantastic. One sec here. Darn you, loading screen. There we go. This is this boathouse I was talking about. I swear Bethesda was listening. I love this house. And I believe I have showcased this before. If not, I'll have to do another video on this. But not tonight, I think. We're gonna just end things right here. Alright. So until next time, guys, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a fantastic day, afternoon, and or evening. And on behalf of myself, Gamer Girl Chibine, aka Chibs, I'll catch you guys later on the flip side. Now, as for when I will be streaming again, I'm not 100% sure. Fingers crossed. We'll see probably more of me in May. If I do any, it'll be more kind of bonus streams, I guess you could say. I will definitely keep you in the loop. If you're not following me on Twitch, that's okay. Like I said, I'm going to be showcasing these recordings as well and uploading them onto my YouTube channel, so you can always go back to them for reference there as well. Another way you can see what I'm doing and keeping in the loop, if you use X, or used to be known as Twitter, you can follow me on there as well. I always make sure I post when I am going live. So if you want to keep in the loop on that, you can follow me on there as well. All right. So until next time, guys, I hope you have a good one. Later. On behalf of myself, Gamer Girl Chibine, aka Chibs. Bye.